If you are Canadian and you happen to watch some TV, or if you're a horror aficionado in the late 1990s, I guarantee you remember the 1997 film Cube. You may think that this is similar to something like Saw or Event Horizon due to the claustrophobic setting and the brutality of everything. But I don't know, I didn't think that Cube really held up as well as one might remember. It happens to me with horror films a little bit more often than some other things. But so what? At least I remember it. One of the easiest ways to really get the viewer really sucked into the moment, I've talked about this before, is to really have a claustrophobic setting. And this one, you're in this cube, essentially. Pretty big, and they're able to go into separate rooms. Yeah, when they go into a different room, it's another cube. Some of the cubes have different color tones to them, different hues. And some of them have different numbers to them, like big chunks of numbers. When they go into some of the rooms, there's going to be a gruesome death awaiting for them. Whenever a death scene does end up happening, I hate to say it, some of that actually was kind of interesting. I mean, like, this is one of those films where a gruesome death scene almost seems like an art form all its own. I don't really mean so much like the death itself. Like, sure, the way that they get killed, that's interesting too. But ultimately, the way that the blood and gore was put together, the prosthetics, the amount of fake blood and all that stuff, the way that some of that stuff is done, it's like it seemed kind of artistic, and that's why whenever there is a really brutal death scene in this film, I was actually like, whoa, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't condone brutality or anything, but this is one of those films where it's like, wow, okay. A bunch of people, they seem to be kind of chosen at random. They must figure out a way to get out and not go into a different giant cube where they will likely get killed. They must learn to trust each other, and they must not get so agitated, because there's going to be death around them, and because they haven't eaten in a while, they haven't been able to sleep, so their psychosis is really melting down. Thing that I don't think the movie did that well with, aside from the acting, because the acting in this movie it isn't very good, but that was like, you can see that almost right away with the film. The movie didn't really build its characters, well, all of its characters, super duper well, like I was really hoping for. One character, she's a mathematician. She was the only character that I really wanted to really get out alive. All the other characters I didn't really care for. They weren't really well acted, and they weren't really all that interesting or well developed enough for me to care about. So even though she herself isn't really a good actress, at least she had some good writing, some good brains behind her alone, that really had me saying, you know what, I at least want her to survive. So yeah, the rooting interest in this film, it's pretty low, at least with some other things about like survival of the fittest and trying to get out alive. The rooting interest is much stronger, and it happens to more than just one person. But with this one, just this one girl, and I hate to say I was kind of reluctant because again, her development was still kind of low, and the acting abilities by her was still kind of low. But having said that, it was a nice and atmospheric like that, and and as I said, the scares, the gore, all that stuff is okay. But the things that matter most, the characters, the acting, a little too low. So I'll give Cube from 1997 2.5 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.